Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to show you my posh bakery, which has got a nice wee ground floor interior and lots of stuff going on outside. We'll look at that in a second. Just a brief look at the back of the city though. Got the train running and I've finished all the garden greenery areas in the corners. It's finally starting to look a bit more finished in this kind of area here. Got lots of new buildings coming, so stay tuned for that. I'm also working on a new upper floor for the library, which is the Sanctum Sanctorum building, with a new rooftop, making it totally different. And I'll be doing a review of my windmill next, so check that out when it comes. Now, the bakery sits at the bottom of this 4-storey narrow Dutch-inspired building. This is a custom build by myself, and I started with the bakery at the bottom and I wanted to make it quite fancy, so the beige tan colour, white and gold with little hints of navy blue was what I went with. And so I decided to replicate that throughout the whole build. Around the back I wanted to give a bit of contrast, so I used larger black windows. The rooftop features a particular style of Dutch rooftops with the larger 4-pane windows, which is actually an attic. There's some vents up here on the roof and some fencing. And if you know me, no studs. Everything in the city has to be tiled, rooftops included. For part of this build, I used parts from the downtown diner. This wall design with the grey windows, I love that, and the overhanging grey edge of the roof is nice, so I used that as the basis for the middle floors and of course the rooftop, but I also used white arches instead of grey, so it fits with my colour scheme. Let's take a closer look at the actual bakery bit. This building's footprint is 16 studs wide, so that marries up perfectly when you have 2 4-stud wide windows, a door in the middle, and then you've got columns either side. It's classical architecture. The brick white top section is like an architrave or an entablature with ornate fencing. I was just messing about with different ideas and wanted to make something classical, European, and kind of fancy. I used a sticker sheet Lego made back in 2019, which had various signs, and the bakery one is just lovely. I've seen lots of people use it in the past and I wanted to make my own take on it. I'm sure you might have seen this graphic on other people's designs, so that's where it comes from. I like the pretzel design. Pretzels are obviously very German, but you do get variations in the Netherlands, so it kind of works. And it says baker in English, so yeah, not Dutch, but it's fine I suppose. I've used tan and white for all the interior walls, so the outside has a nice, relatively uniform look. Around the back there's an aircon unit, a back door, and some wee bakery signs too. I have loads of white masonry bricks and I think it looks really nice with the black windows and the gold as well. It's simple but a clean and realistic look. The front uses those stunning and ornate black and white tiles. I got them off AliExpress. They weren't cheap, but they're well worth it and they look great, and Lego don't make anything like that. And the navy blue tiles around them, it really makes it stand out. And that's what I wanted to achieve. The best thing, however, about the fronts are the cakes, of course. The wedding cake on the left is from Assembly Square, and the one on the right uses parts from a collectible minifigure set, and I added the top. I love it, and it's unmistakably a baker or a cake maker. It's fancy, you know. So let's take the top off and have a peek at the interior. It's a bit tricky to get a good view. You enter into this 6-stud wide tiled area, surrounded on all sides by baked treats and goodies. The cashiers at the back. I've used Friends mini dolls in here. Rolls and sandwiches on the right, pretzels and a baguette. It was nice to add all the wee details and use up a lot of these food accessories which we have in our collection. The menus are from the sticker sheet as well. The €10 note is a custom printed one I got online. Then a load of wee cakes and croissants, buns and donuts and all that. I didn't want to add shells, I think it would be too much, but I did want to fill it and make it look proper. I mean, if this was an official Lego set, they'd have like 1x1 plate with a few things on it. They never really fill it, or, you know, that's why I wanted to really pack it. funny thing is, you probably will never see this because it sits in the middle of the street and it's quite hard to look through the windows. So if I have the door open though, you can see in there and it looks nice. And of course, I want to make sure I have a proper interior for all my ground floor buildings. If I open the back door, you can see just how limited the space is. It's very tight. I've tiled the edge like all modulars, and I've put the studded tiles here to act like jumper plates to connect to the upper section so it comes apart easily. And I've built this top section so solid I can even pick it up with one hand. The reason I did this was because when I did my last show, this was one of the most fragile and broken buildings because I didn't really do the walls properly, and I promised myself that when I had the parts, I'd come back and redo the walls and make them super strong and really finish the building off so I can actually film it and show everyone what it looks like. Here at the back, there's a slight recess. I did that on purpose to create this fence, and it's saved on parts as well. No need to add any side windows as this is flanked by other buildings except the top floor, and that's why it has those black side windows. Looking at it like this, it's quite an imposing building. It's tall and quite narrow. At the time of construction, it was one of the tallest buildings I'd made for the city. And I also think it's one of the most pleasant to view as well. Perhaps it's a bit bland, lacking in colour, but that's because I want it to look quite realistic, and gold only really works with certain colours, you can't overdo it. The angled white rooftop really finishes it off though, and it's unmistakably Dutch in appearance. If you ever wanted to do something similar for the walls, it's plates with tiles then connected on with those snot bricks. The top windows are a well-used design by Lego where you put a modified 1x2 plate on the bottom and another snot piece on the top, and it just sort of slides into the underside of an archway piece, like so. And it gives a very nice appearance. I almost forgot to mention though, there is no other interior. I just did the ground floor because I really don't want to waste parts. This is where it goes, next to Pandora and the teal apartment. Can't place this one-handed, I'll put the camera down. Voila, looks great. I'm sure if you've been following the city's progress, you've seen this building before and maybe think that's nothing new, but I never actually filmed properly what it was all about, and I never actually finished the side. So I did the ground floor interior, but crucially I sorted out the side, and that means especially from this view you can't see any of the gaps that used to be there. And of course it was really fragile. The whole wall was exposed and it looked terrible, plus as I say, it broke all the time. I'm really happy with it. I think it fits really well in the street. Unfortunately it's a wee bit dark in here now, but yeah, it's all looking quite nice. I'm glad I'm able to come back to some buildings and improve them, fill in missing bits and make them stronger for transport. One of my next projects though will be sorting this out. The Sanctum Sanctorum, the Marvel set, which I turned into a library, I've been tinkering with it. I changed this whole back area, which I love. I think it's way better, but yeah, the rooftop needs some attention. It also doesn't have an interior. The chimney's too big. It just looks like something from a Tim Burton film. Anyways, I hope you like the bakery and I'll catch you next time.